there isn't anybody who isn't going to face adversity in life. And for me, the greatest blessings of my life have come out of adversity. It's the bad things. People say to me, what's the most important thing in your life, Chuck Colson? Went to prison. Because in prison, I realized the needs of millions of people that I had probably never thought about in my life. I never would have dreamed of going into a prison. Now there's 2.3 million people in prison in America, and I can't wait to get there and preach. I love it. But that wouldn't have been the case if I hadn't gone to prison. And I now realize that the most important thing about my life today is the work I'm doing in Christian ministry, being able to reach people all over the world, written 25 books, I've done all the things in the ministry of prison fellowship. This is tremendous, but the lowest point of my life was when I was in prison, and I thought to myself, I'd always been idealistic. I'd grown up wanting to serve my country and wanting to do all these good things in public life. And here I am in prison. I'm a Watergate criminal, despised, reviled by people across the country. I thought I can get out of here. I didn't lose my license to practice law in my home state. I could go back and practice law. I was offered jobs. I wasn't worried about making a living. What I was really crestfallen about was that I'll never do anything significant again. Yeah. And exactly the opposite. God had to break me first in order to do something significant with my life.
Let me tell you a little experience I had my last year I coached with the Redskins. We lost Sean Taylor, great gifted athlete, who was murdered in his house. Terrible thing for us all to go through, 24-year-old. And his life had witnessed to me over a 3.5-year period that he had given his life to Christ and was starting to walk with him, and yet here he was taken away and murdered, defending his family. And so that was traumatic, emotional. We played a game against Buffalo. At the end of the game, I made a horrible decision for me as a coach, probably the biggest mistake I made in coaching. And the thought that hit me on the way home was exactly your statement. And my feeling was this: nobody will ever again say anything positive about my coaching career. Now, I just say to everybody out there that's going through some kind of adversity right now, if you're on God's team, here's what he was able to do in my life. In the next 4 weeks, we probably played 4 of the greatest games I've ever been a part of against some of the biggest adversity. And in that year, we beat Minnesota at their place. We beat the New York Giants at their place, who eventually went on to become the Super Bowl. We beat Dallas. And we beat the Bears at our place. I mean, it's some of the best football teams, and it was some of the most miraculous, I feel like, wins that I was ever a part of. And my point there is, if you're on God's team, sometimes he may take you to a point like he took you, and you made that statement. I made almost the exact same statement in my life. Nobody will ever respect my coaching career again. And yet he, in 4.5 weeks, turned it all the way around. If you're on God's team, there is nothing that's too big for him.